about going for bun instead.
Cake and custard.
Bun and cheese.
Cheers.
Were you ready for the response that the album got? Were you surprised about that?
Yeah, I suppose, in certain ways. Because like how we're just doing something different. No, as regards hip hop, we're doing it sort of more like how we see it should be done over here, perhaps. We didn't think people would really appreciate the album that much. I mean, certain tracks we thought they'd click into, but the way people were raving about the whole album, it was a bit of a surprise, really.
Did you expect it wasn't a dream to get such enthusiastic response?
No. No. I thought, I mean, perhaps that black guys listening to it might think, yeah, man, it's got a point there, kind of thing, and I thought they might appreciate it, but I've been quite surprised, you know, the number of sort of like white people, especially journalists and things, who just clicked into that track straight away, and they're all raving about it as the best on the album. And it's a real surprise to that one because we did that track last. We weren't going to put it on at one stage.
Are there other tracks on there you think have been overshadowed by that? Other tracks that you see as being as important?
I don't know, really. I don't think so. The album, right? I mean, there's so many tracks on there. You know what I mean? There's so many tracks on there. It's not like other albums where, you know, you might have a sort of constant theme running through. It's just different, totally different.
You just want me to flow.
That's it.
Someone was doing it.
Do you always go with the flow?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you.
You mean?
You know him.
I thought you went against the flow.
No, I go with my own flow.
So did it turn out the way you wanted it to?
The album?
Yeah. Is it as raw as you wanted it to be?
No. No.
How would you have changed it?
Well, no,
That's him,
the first thing that went wrong with the album was it came out too late. For us.
Yeah, 'cause we finished it like middle of the year.
Yeah.
Did we finish it before that?
Nah,
We finished it. Finally completed the album. All the tracks we were going to put in the album,
everything.
and the mix and everything in December. And we thought it was going to come out at January the 1st, no, January the 2nd.
Then it went to what?
And then it was February, then it was March, and then it was April, then it was May. And when did it come out now? In July, was it?
I think it really matters when it came out. I mean, it just came out and it blew people's heads. Is that enough?
For certain tracks on there, like perhaps and it wasn't a dream. Maybe Justice, That's My Nigga, and maybe one or two was Law of the Jungle. Tracks like that, it doesn't matter because they're kind of always current. But other tracks, I mean, I think we become dated.
Yeah, a bit dated, isn't it?
You know, because when we did it, we sort of like moved on from then. So to us, they're kind of dated tracks, and they came out too late. If they'd come out when we wanted them to come out originally, they'd have been fresh and they'd have been alright, and we'd been really happy. As it is, they've come out late, and we're happy, but it's not quite the same.
Tell me about That's My Nigga. Is there any room for misunderstanding there?
Nope.
Just listen to the lyrics and learn the
Tell
time.
me about the lyrics.
Go on, Carson, you tell them.
Nothing much to say, just society and how they're treating us. Like we just said our say, how we feel. That's all I like about it, that's all. So there's no room for criticism.
Have you had any black friends misunderstanding and taking
there was a line, like the whites on the shelf and the blacks on the bin, that someone says, oh, it's a bit too deep, that, but it's like I said, I mean, well, they say they need our nationality on application forms for equal rights, right, they say. But I'm saying, if they had equal rights in the beginning, they wouldn't need it. Yeah, equal rights situation, so to keep your nationality on there. So, I mean, and then again, you could get managers or people looking on that form and seeing Jamaican or West Indian continent, you know, wherever, and they might just say, no, because they're trouble. So, that's really why.
We've had a lot of people today talking about your electro roots and how involved you were in the early Manchester break and electro scene. Do you think you've been true to the rawness of those days with the album?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, kind of electro influence tracks on there.
That's where we all come from, where we all started really, with in regards to hip hop. So pay our respects to it, really.
Tell me about the breakdancing.
What for? There's nothing to
Give us
tell.
a demonstration.
No,
You're on the grass now, you won't hurt your
I'm
head.
old now. That was when I was a young lad.
Are you ashamed of that?
No, not really. Why should I be?
Well, why didn't you talk
But
about
why does everybody keep asking me to talk about it though? You know
Because
what I
it's
mean?
important.
Roots.
At the time, but I'm doing other things now which are more important.
He's moved on.
How did you all get into music from the breaking thing?
Always been into
Always
music.
into music, yeah.
Did you just lack the equipment at the time? Was it something you know?
Still do.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we still do it. We're working on it. But yeah, I mean, we just grew up with music in the house. Simple as that, man. I mean, Dad used to buy records, all kinds of records, just all kinds of music. And he used to be playing records all the time. Goes to my uncle's house, it's the same thing. You know, goes to my auntie's house, it's the same thing. So there's just music around you all the time, And that's just when I got a bit older. I was able to buy one or two pieces of hi-fi and things. I was able to do something about it myself, you know.
Were you involved in the sound systems around the North Hume area and wherever in the early days?
Yeah, we used to have a sound, me and the trackside posse, we used to have a sound called Ruffian Hi-Fi. And we just like the roughest, most rugged, most violent, rudest, just the baddest sound system in the whole of my side at the time.
Is there still an influence in the music from those days on the reggae side?
I think there's an influence from reggae because, I mean, reggae's just around me all the time, you know what I mean? You know, we used to have sound in it, so I was obviously into it. So there's bound to be a reggae influence. You know what I mean? I mean, you probably hear it more on certain tracks than others. But,
Tell me about the importance of the North Hume thing, the North Hume identity. Was that a wind-up? Is that actually...
that sounded as a joke, actually.
I was thinking it was. There's no substance to that then, it's just a wind-up.
No, there's a place called North
That's
Hume.
where we're from.
That's where we are.
But it hasn't got quite the identity that you make it out to have.
That's pretty rough, actually. But no, I mean, the whole thing's happening. I remember on KRS-One, it's got the record, that record, is it? South Bronx.
Yes.
And then everyone started going about the South Bronx, South. So just to make like fun of that, we started saying North Hume, North Hume. It was just a private joke between us, but I think some people got onto it.
Are you surprised by how many people have bitten on that?
I never really thought about it before.
Yeah.
Do you get kids going around saying I'm from the North Hume?
I don't really speak to that many kids, so I couldn't really say. I don't know. People just talk about Hume, you know, generally, normally.
It's trendy to be from Hume now, really, isn't it?
Rapper Sessons lived there.
You got John in the back.
No, he's gone back, eh?
Going back where?
Okay,
I
run
don't know where it is.
camera.
It's on the train now.
Where?
I don't know where it is, you know.
Tell me about the track Justice. How did that come about?
Alright, what happened? Yeah, this is what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened, okay?
Jugga Justice.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. See, what happened was,
So what happened?
I was messing about with this tape loop of the drums. Right?
What happened?
It was just a drum breaker I heard on the record, and I thought that sounds alright. So I recorded it all the times, taped it. They said it needs a bass on it, man. So I don't know, this bass. I just got this bass, and you know, listen to it, just plain as it was.
Subliminal message.
It sounded dead, you know, really serious and heavy and kind of. So I thought, well, I can't sort of like you just your ordinary, sort of like, I don't know, what's the word? Your ordinary kind of style of lyrics on it. It sounds too serious for that. So you just developed, and I wrote a verse. I wrote a verse, and it just grew from there then. And then what happened was took it to the studio, and Greg got involved in it and started producing it a bit more. Added some not keyboards, guitars to it. And it just grew from there, really and truly. You know. But I mean, sort of like the starting point of that track was like the backing, and then the lyrics just came. They seemed to go with that backing. I don't know, maybe it's a moment of inspiration or something.
Were you in a bad mood that day? Had something happened to you?
Not particularly. I'm just saying it's just like I was listening to the track because like I used to just play music every day anyway. And I had it sort of like on the 4 track. And I was pumping it out and you know, it just sounded so serious. I thought, well, I've got to write some serious lyrics. So I started to think about the things that affect sort of black people And then, well, not even black people, just people, generally speaking, you know, in day-to-day life. And then all those things occurred to me, so I just wrote them in rhyme and put them down.
Is it harder to keep that edge now that you're signed to EMI and you're a major pop group and you've got pockets full of money?
You can scratch the last bit. These pockets are empty, G. You know, I got a key, man.
Yeah, both. Yeah. You see it? Both.
No money, just us.
I need a raise.
No, the thing about our contract with EMI is they more or less allow us to do what we do on the creative side. And there's no money though. And so we're just doing what we're doing, you know. Like I said, the album should have been out like last year, so maybe when you hear our next stuff, you'll think, oh yeah, they've kept it. Or maybe you'll think they've gone on from there to something else, you know. Like I said, we don't sort of like work to any formula, we just try and we do what we feel at the time, how it feels at the time.
Go with the flow.
You know what I mean? So if it sounds good to us then, we'll do it like that then. It might sound rubbish to us like 6 weeks later. But there it is, you know.
Do you find that on the strength of the album, a lot of people are expecting you to be very serious now in the future with justice and things like that?
Yeah.
Because there is a lighter side to the Rap Assassins, isn't there? You do like to take the piss as well.
Can you say that on TV?
No.
It's not up to 5 yet, is it? No, yeah, people do. I mean, like, we had a lot of people talking to us, like, especially journalists and things.
And they just come up and straight away, they sit down
and they're into the serious tracks.
pulling their faces and, you know what I mean, going on with themselves.
No, I've seen about. No, they do. They want to talk more about the serious ones, which I guess is right in ways. But if we feel to do humorous tracks in the future, we're going to do them still, you know. We're going to do what we want to do, not what people expect us to do or want us to do. Because if you don't do what you want to do, what you think you should be doing.
Do you want to stop now?
You end up doing something else. And it's not necessarily right, is it?
Twisted.
Sure.